Hello, friends, and happy Friday. How is everyone doing this evening? It is great to be here. I hope you are all well. I have the Matches Memorial Friday 7 Alley filled with Haunted Bookshop, as is the tradition here on the Friday night live stream. And let's see, we've got a good crowd assembled already. It was a little thin this morning. The early birds didn't this morning. It was a little thin this evening. The early birds didn't show up, maybe because they thought it was morning. I don't know, but it was good to see folks flooding in as we got up to the deadline there. So we got Phil Rivera, good to see you. Phil Gordy, Gary Edminster, Ghost Rider, great to see you guys. Bad Dad 1922. Now, I'm assuming that wasn't the year you were born, Bad Dad, because what's it feel like to be 103? I'm just curious. I don't know why YouTube's putting these numbers in. It's a little annoying. There's the Urban Hermit. Good to see you tonight, Everett. That Linux thug. Oh, I like that name. I consider myself a Linux thug as well. Good to see you, buddy. Father Chris Weber. Hello. Great for you. Great to see you joining us from Iowa. There we go. The mouth will start working eventually. It'll get there. There's Jimmy 51363. I said I wasn't going to read the numbers anymore. I got a problem. Happy Thanksgiving, Jimmy. Good to see you, buddy. The Linux thug has got miskatonic mixture in a clay. Wow. Good stuff. Good stuff. Gary Edminster, I was not 2 minutes early. I resemble that comment. I think I was right on time. I usually start the music at 7:57. So I think I was right on time, but maybe I was early. Pepe, you were not late. You were here before I started, so you're never late. Golden Girls 40th anniversary. Wow. Big Dave, good to see you, buddy. Steve Stazak, the Smooth Piper. And the Smooth Piper's got Haunted Bookshop in his Friday 7 Alley. There's Codger Jim, retirement beer. Not quite, it's a long story. Wilmington Piper, David G. Good to see you guys. And there's Lukester. How you doing tonight, Luke? Dennis Moy? Moy? Hello, Dennis. The Tasman 6. Jeffrey Feinberg. How come it's using our handles and not our usernames? Linux Thug, I don't even know what that means. Is there a difference between a handle and a username? I don't know. The only thing I'm seeing different, for folks that have been showing up for some time now, is that everybody's got numbers after their name now. There's Matthew Geis. Good to see you, Matthew. Had a wonderful Thanksgiving here. Hey, David, a fish fry is perfectly reasonable excuse. So if I was doing a fish fry, I wouldn't even be here. Yes. So I hope you all had a very happy Thanksgiving and did whatever you folks do on Black Friday. I did pretty much nothing today. Not necessarily by choice. And you might notice I will not move very much tonight. I managed to hurt my back. Can't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I was moving stuff in my office at work, and I just tweaked something. And yesterday it was starting to feel pretty good, and I thought, okay, but I woke up this morning in just agony. Just getting out of bed was horrible. And there's people that have a lot worse pain than this, but for me, it was a lot of pain. I'm not trying to claim I'm. It's not like I'm on a 10 out of 10, but it hurt. So I've been doing ibuprofen and heating pads all day, and I'm able to move around, but it's still pretty painful. So we'll see. James Steidel, welcome in from Indiana. Mixture 79 and Aroma Lucite. Very nice. There's Sailor. Good to see you, Sailor. C&D Odessa. Very old Barling Canadian. Nice. Nice stuff. Yeah, I don't know if you'd want to necessarily fillet a Vagoda, Phil. That probably wouldn't be so good. Did I ever tell you about the Abe Vigoda song I wrote? I wrote an Abe Vigoda song. And to my disappointment, I never was able to get it recorded. It was one of those moments when you just, the muse just strikes you, and it just writes itself, And I'm not a songwriter, but this was some fine work. I'm telling you, this was good. It was called A Pagoda. It was to the tune of Lola, the Kinks' Lola. And my favorite line in the whole thing was, there's the line in Lola where they sing, "I'm not dumb, but I don't understand." On and on. Well, my version was, "I'm not dumb, but it just doesn't jive. He's been 80 since the 70s, and he's still alive." I thought that was a brilliant piece of songwriting. Oh, okay, Declan. I don't know what happened then, because I recognized Declan Fletterjohn for sure. I know you've been on before, so I don't know what happened. There's Rush Fan 3. Good to see you, Patrick. Oh, Everett, you definitely should do that series. I think that's needed. So Patrick's an example. Patrick, did you change your username, or did you make a different channel, or have you always been Rush Fan 3 and just logging in as Patrick Grant or something? Because it's been recently that's changed, and we were just noting that some of the names are not what they used to be. We're trying to figure out if YouTube's playing games here. Yeah, I'm seeing suggestions for ice and acupuncture, and yeah, it definitely is getting worse as time goes on. But I've been having bad back issues since I was in my 30s. It's just I just have to be careful. The occasional clay piper and mushroom leg and Ochoita. Good to see you folks. Yeah, new meaning to Black Friday indeed. 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 The mouth will start working soon, I promise. You can go into the settings in your YouTube channel and see what it will show, says James Steidle. Oh, it's probably worth doing. Um, I mean, just out of curiosity, I won't type too much because it will cause OBS to do stuff. But if I just, let's see, can I do? So that shows up as CaneRod Piper, which I think is right. I think that's what it's always been. I don't get any numbers either. Hmm. Go figure. YouTube is a mystery. John Adams, happy Friday, sir. What am I drinking, Gary? That's a good question. You know, Gary, if it wasn't for you, buddy, I'd probably dehydrate. I'm just teasing you, Gary. I appreciate the reminders. Oklahoma Piper. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. It was wonderful here. When too many lowercase letter, like when too many vowels get linked together, I can't read it. Big Ring Rider. There we go. I had 6 different versions of that going through my head. Big Ring Rider. The crowns and points, I think I managed to turn them off. And I think individuals have to turn them off as well for themselves. But at least I got them to not display. Oh, Sailor, same here. Stuffed to the gills indeed. Ah, Gordy, I can imagine that. Yeah, the weather's not good with stuff like that. Blizzard in Cleveland, really? Yeah, my wife's out in Pittsburgh, and she said it's not been snowing a lot, but they have been seeing snow in some of the surrounding areas, like 20 minutes away, have been getting some pretty significant accumulation. Ah, Dr. Bob's Nightmare is explaining what YouTube's doing there. Too many. Yeah, I mean, Phil, even saying Tagalog is difficult for me. Master Poe on a bookshop in an unfinished 673. Nice. Solalables. I am going to enjoy one of these guys. And I'm going to try to get the glass without hurting myself. Unfortunately, it's over there and I got to bend. Oh boy. Yeah, we'll just switch hands over to this side. Couch. Weather sucks. Couch likes warm winter. I did not know that, Couch. Well, I thought all Vikings liked it cold. Sorry, I'm not holding this up so you can see what I'm doing, but again, I have to conserve my movements. That's close enough. Happy Friday. Ocho Ida, that's one of the truest things I've ever seen. Black Friday, you get 100% discount on everything you don't buy. There you go. Oh, wait, I gotta. Any chance I get to learn a little Tagalog, I gotta. Babalik ako. That's easy enough. I'll probably pronounce it terribly, but at least I can read it. Curious how you find Saint Espresso if you've had. I thought it was terrible. I did buy a tin of it. I thought it was horrible. Sorry, it just was like a really lousy aromatic in my opinion. I know people loved it, and for me, I think it was mostly the chemicals in the aromatic topping that just don't agree with me. Oh, I forgot about the not right in the head thing, Couch. Of course. Sorry, buddy. You know I don't believe that for a minute. You're one of the least effed up people I know, buddy. Which may say something about the kind of people I know, but you know. Yeah, Leave is pretty good for back pain, which I believe is naproxen. They all have side effects, and they all have different side effects. So I take a lot of them when I feel like this. Not all the time, but when I get this pain, I have to really over medicate. You know, they tell you not to do more than 400 milligrams a day, but the truth is you can go much higher than that safely as long as you don't do it for long periods of time. But I did not say that. Do not take that as medical advice. It's just, yeah, forget what I just said. I don't ever take more than what's on the bottle. But at any rate, I take a lot of it, and so I try to mix them so that I'm balancing out the side effects, basically. And that seems to work pretty good, although it does limit some of the pain control that they produce at times. But like you can take more Tylenol and ibuprofen together and get more pain relief than if you just took extra of one of them because you can go higher because the side effects are different. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I've heard people complaining about the lack of ads in the papers, but also I wish somebody would complain about the abundance of crap I've been getting in my mailbox the past week. I mean, it's been crazy. It's been stuffed to the point where, every day I'd have to wedge the stuff out of the mailbox. Yeah, ice is a good idea, Couch. I probably should switch to that. Diclofenac, the Voltaren, yeah. Yeah, Jim, and boy, believe me, I'm doing plenty of bourbon. It's so this is the main reason why you're seeing me with a retirement beard today. I'm gonna have this gone by Monday, but the thought of raising my arm up to, yeah, it just wasn't gonna happen this morning. You were doing the church warden out the door thing, huh, Clay Paper? That's hilarious. Supposedly, that's one of the reasons they got their name. I don't quite believe that story, that they would hang him out the church window. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but um, Dry Fly Fisher, good to see you, buddy. They got to Everett. I hope they slip through without issue. Phil, do you find that the combination of those three is synergistic? Like the explicatives alone, I'm guessing just don't do it. Hard crackers, good to see you, Ron. Oh, I get the need to get a break from Thanksgiving leftovers. Although I don't have turkey leftovers. I heard, Phil. I heard about that. Yeah, that is great news, Everett. I'm very happy for you, buddy. Now we just got to figure out how to get tobacco up to them without these ridiculous tariffs and uh, not tariffs. What are the custom fees? There we go. Thanksgiving was fantastic, Jeffrey. I thought about it, and I ultimately decided to just go with sausage and meatballs and some linguine because that's what I enjoy, and it made me happy, and I know how to make it, and I didn't have to do anything complicated. So I've got a big bucket of meatballs and sausage up there that my wife will not eat because I make it spicy. So she supposedly is coming home tomorrow. I say supposedly. She promises, and she's very worried about the weather, so she just might. But It's been a long time since she's actually come home on a day when she said she was going to come home. So we'll see what happens. Hey, Daniel Leslie, how you doing, buddy? So I also um, took advantage of the Black Friday sales, which were not that great, but I got something off at least, and bought some haunted bookshop because I've told my wife repeatedly that the reason I'm selling tobacco is that I will not have to buy it once I retire. And I realized this morning, uh-oh, I've only got a week. So uh, I guess I'll diversify my smoking in the coming years. That sounds really good, James. I did have a big salad last night that I was very proud. If you saw on Instagram, I put up a picture of this. I built that little. Um, it's not really a greenhouse. It's a topper for a raised bed. I forget what they call them, a hot box or something like that. And while it's growing slowly, I do have some spinach and some arugula and what I think is romaine lettuce, although I've never seen romaine lettuce growing from seeds, so it might just be weeds. I don't know. But it's growing in rows, so I'm guessing it's romaine lettuce. They're growing slowly because the temperature is low, but they are growing. And outside of that, I've got kale still going like crazy. So I got some kale and some arugula and some what I'm calling baby spinach because it's so small. Uh, and added that to some romaine that I had from the store and stuff and made a nice salad. But it was kind of cool that I went out on Thanksgiving Day. When I built that thing, I thought to myself, if I can make a salad on Thanksgiving Day using stuff that I grew, I'll be a happy man. So the experiment worked. Now, whether or not I'm going to try to figure out how to get some heat into it and do it different next year, that's a long story. That is a good point, Couch. I could start doing pipe repair again, and you can only pay me in haunted bookshop. That would solve everything, wouldn't it? I am there, Father Chris. Yeah, got the news. I was pretty much told that I was retiring, so it wasn't my decision, but I'm happy about it. It worked out perfectly. Yes, Paragon. By salad, I meant a steak, of course. Ah, dry fly fisher, it depends a lot on what I'm doing. So middle of the year, I'm going to work every day and things like that. It'll last me maybe 2 months. But if I'm at home, like over the holidays, like a long vacation or something like that, or if I'm working from home a lot, it might only last me a month because I'm smoking during the day. So yeah, we just have to see. You're gonna do an animation and a post, Phil, for my retirement? My goodness. Well, December 5th, next Friday. This time next Friday, I will be gainfully unemployed for the first time since I was 14 years old. And by the way, um, we're not going to have a live stream next week. I think I hope I said that last week. Got nothing to do with retirement, but my wife and I are going to do the tree lighting, and we like to go out to dinner and do the It's just a nice little small town thing to do. So we're going to do that. Unless if it's pouring rain or something, maybe that'll change our plans because there apparently is some rain in the forecast. So maybe I'll pop up with something spontaneous and unscheduled. But if not, I'll be back the following Friday, which will be the 12th. And that's when we're going to be chatting with Santa Claus. So not this coming Friday, but next Friday, 2 weeks from tonight, we will be chatting with Santa. Oh, grass cutting. No, I actually, this is a terrible thing to admit to, but back then there was this concept of working papers, and you had to get that basically proved that you were 16. So 16 was the minimum age, but you could get uh, I don't know. I guess they were fake working papers that my grandfather got for me, and then you could work in some shady places. They didn't bother to check on them. And then when I hit 16, I immediately that summer, first summer I was 16 was the first year that I worked at McDonald's, and I worked at McDonald's every summer up through college. Um, and then once I was in college, I was working at my dad's company. He didn't own the company; he worked for the company, and he got me a job there. Uh, And I'm also counting things like when I was in graduate school, I was being paid for the research I was doing. When I was a postdoc, I was being paid for the research I was doing. So it's not like I was always had a job and went to school. Sometimes going to school was my job. Turnip casserole sounds really nice, James. Daniel, I try to rotate through things pretty efficiently so that I don't smoke one more than another. Thank you, Paul, and other folks who are congratulating. You gotta dress up as Santa. Oh, Couch, please do a video, please. I will I will fix your pipes for free if you post a video of you dressed up as Santa at the Santa Walk. A witch lighting, that's a different thing altogether, Phil. Since 11, Phil, my goodness. You win. Yeah, I remember minimum wage. The first job I had that, paid minimum wage it was like 3.25 an hour, I think. Somewhere around that. And I can remember like, man, they'd raise it to like 3.40 and you'd think you were suddenly flush with money. Retired is better than retreaded indeed, Phil. 3.35 an hour. That number sounds right, James. Yeah. Oh, Couch, I love you, my friend. I can't wait because I know you're going to be grumpy as all hell. John Adams, man, started at 10. It's 14 more years. It'll fly by, believe me, John. I know it sounds crazy now, but it will fly by. Daniel's asking, in my opinion, what causes burnout? And he gives three possible reasons. One is poor briar, one is not resting the pipe between uses, or burning tobacco too hot is the third one. So, Daniel, so let me first off say that I've only in God, close to 40 years now of pipe smoking, I've only had one pipe burn out on me. And that was, I believe, because there was a flaw in the briar. Now, I don't think most burnout occurs because there's a flaw in the briar. I've got pipes that I've smoked the heck out of that I know had flaws in the briar because I made them and saw the flaws. And so I don't think that's necessarily going to definitively cause burnout. Resting the pipe, I never rest my pipes. I smoke the same pipe all day, sometimes for days in a row, and they don't burn out. The tobacco too hot, it's not just too hot, it's how it's packed in too hot. I think it's more about if you're smoking in heavy wind and that's causing one side to burn more, or if you're packing it funny and it's burning on one side, not the other. You want to make sure you get that burn at the top even when you first light it. You can use whatever soundtrack you want, Phil. Although to be honest, I really have no animosity towards my job at all. I mean, I've enjoyed working this job greatly over the years, and this is a very comfortable and mutual parting. So, but yeah, you can do whatever you want. I've quit better jobs than this. No, no. There you go, Sailor. 125 an hour at Baskin Robbins. My goodness. Dennis Moaya. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. 2:30 a.m. there. Go get some sleep. But thank you for joining us, my friend. It was great to see you. All the records you could eat. I'm sure that was tasty, Jim. Oh, that is great news on the internship, Declan. You $1.25 an hour folk must be much older than me, because I said the earliest I can remember was definitely three something an hour. I think 3.35 was right. When James posted that felt right. Yeah, you don't want to maintain a visible ember for sure. And if you taste wood, you should stop, Phil. That's true. Or you could take the urban hermit approach of just waiting until you hear them cry. I mean, I think for me, the thing that really has changed, also relighting a lot, because when you're relighting, sometimes you could be drawing down one side or the other. Um, what really changed my whole approach to lighting was the realization that the double light is important. So you light once, and that's just to kind of get the top charred and stuff, and then you lightly tamp all the way around. You get a complete covering of that charred tobacco, and that creates like a charcoal layer that you're lighting, and then you'll get a nice even burn all the way down, and that seems to work really well. Thanks, Declan. I appreciate that. I don't think I'm going to do that, Ron. David, that's quite a first job. My goodness. I think the opposite, Daniel. I think a straight pipe is a better choice for a beginner. I think you get more, bents just are more finicky. Hey, Cole, good to see you. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. You drink enough red wine, Dr. Bob, anything pairs well with it. Yeah, I can remember gas being certainly less than $1. I can't say for sure I remember it ever being less than like 60 or 70 cents a gallon. 25 cents a gallon, that's something bad, Dad. So Everett, the idea behind the char light is, you know what you do to your pipe in general? You do that just to the tobacco. Daniel, I think Phil explains it pretty well there. Um, it's about the airway. You know, you just got a straight shot. They tend to be, they have less condensation because of that. And you know, the other thing is that the if you can master a straight billiard, then you'll be able to adjust to other things. But the most important thing when you're first learning how to smoke a pipe is to understand how to light it, how to pack it, and cadence. And lighting it and packing it you could do on any pipe, but the cadence is just, in my opinion, easier on straight. It's opinion. You know, other people will disagree. Paragon Piper's trying to make meerschaums cool again. $0.10 an hour, Ron? My goodness. In the 70s? Wow. Yeah, it's a good point, Phil, especially that getting all the way to the bottom thing is it's much easier in a straight pipe. Good evening, Doug Owen. Good to see you, buddy. Yes, Everett, or in your case, get the tobacco as dark as the rim. Oh, Cole, that must have been exciting. Oh, thank you, Doug. If only I could remember what he said. So, in my opinion or experience, what myth do I think new pipe smokers are told more often that turn them off? Um, you know, Daniel, I think 90% of the advice that new pipe smokers get is personal opinion, and I think that could be it. I mean, again, learn how to pack your pipe. You know, get somebody that knows how to do it and that knows how to do it simply. You know, don't get into all this nonsense about the vortex method and the Smith method or whatever. Just have less tobacco at the bottom and it looser at the bottom than at the top. Learn how to do that. Everything else will fall into place. Everything else you got to learn yourself. So that's one of the reasons why I really don't like, and I try to not make videos about how to smoke a pipe because I can tell you how I smoke a pipe, but I can't tell you how you should. You have to learn that. So, I think a lot of that stuff can turn people off because they try it, it doesn't work for them. Todd Munson, good evening to you, sir. Packing and cadence are the keys, Doug. And I will give you a piece of advice, and this may or may not work for you, but I learned cadence because I used to smoke when I walked. I used to walk a mile from where I lived to where the university was when I was in Pittsburgh. And that, I think, is how I learned cadence because I don't know why, but for some reason, just the pace of the walking seemed to naturally entrain the pace of the smoking. And um, I can't attribute it to anything else because it's not like I ever sat down and thought, okay, how fast should I be smoking this? But I've never had pipes overheat. It's just always been kind of natural to me. And I think it's because I learned during that walking. You aren't a smoker unless you smoke X. It could be English, a lot of key. It could be if you smoke aromatics, if you don't smoke aromatics. Smoke what you like. Yeah, try not to get advice from Everett unless you hate your pipes. Lukester, that's good. That's good. Those Kensington pipe smokers know what they're doing. I don't know, Bad Dad. I think he's one of the people that kind of gives advice that's just not necessarily universal. If you want to do it the way he does it, he's very good at telling you how to do it that way. But it's not the only way. Declan, I don't understand the end of that statement, but if you're saying that most of the packing methods are BS, I think you're right. I think most of the packing methods reduce to the same thing, which is less pressure at the bottom. Leave it loose at the bottom. If you do that, you're golden. 50,000 different. Yeah, we agree, Declan. Yeah, cross country running could definitely work on that cadence, Phil. Paul Johnson, that I'd like to see that. Oh, David, that is cool. I assume it's supposed to be hard as a rock. Daniel, I think pipes and cigars are two different beasts, and movie folk are just doing what's trendy. Cigars are more flashy, and that I think what it really comes down to. You know what? I better drink my beer, or we're going to be here all night. Oh no, big ring rider. I'm just gonna call you big. Uh, they are glued in typically. If it can slip back in, you could epoxy it, but I'd rough it up a bit with some sandpaper first, and maybe try to get some sandpaper into the hole that it came out of, and get that roughed up too. And then be careful not to get the epoxy in the airway. All right, sailor. Adios. You take care, my friend. It was good to see you. Thanksgiving Day was phenomenal for you, Peter. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. I had some today too. I'm probably going to put it away now. Take it out next year. Oh, Doug, that's a good point. So, Big Ring Rider, did you mean? Let me get another pipe and ask you this. This one's tight. Did you mean this whole thing came out so that you just have a hole here? Or did you mean the little insert that goes into this came out? Because I forgot, and thank you, Doug, for bringing that up. The 7Ls have a filter replacement that is supposed to come in and out. So if that came out, you could just push it back in and go on. But if this part came out, so you basically have nothing that goes back into the mortise, then you got to glue it in. So two completely different things. Thanks for bringing that up, Doug. Absolutely, backcountry pipe. Different blends need to be packed differently. Flakes, for example, very different packing method. But it comes down to the same thing where you've got less density at the bottom. But how you actually pack it is going to be different. And that's why I don't like the idea of, teaching a method rather than teaching the concept of just have less tobacco at the bottom of the bowl, because then you can adjust it on the fly to whatever you're packing. You don't have to think about it anymore. Oh, Daniel, that entirely depends on my mood, the time of day, what I'm drinking. I mean, I've never been a Maduro fan, but that's just me personally. There's nothing wrong with them. They get plenty of flavor, just not a flavor I like. In the morning with coffee, I tend to enjoy something like a Connecticut or a Dominican. Uh, my go-tos are usually like Nicaraguan Sumatras or Corojo, that sort of thing. But it's not like I will never have a Maduro. Oh, it was the entire rod. Okay, then yeah, glue would be necessary. Big BRR. Will that work? The reason I'm having trouble with it is I want to say big grind because I see GRIDER at the end, and I want to say grinder, and yeah, it's no offense, Big. It's my problem. Uh-oh. I haven't seen Peter announce that he's done with his haunted bookshop, so he might be the winner this week. Get out the smaller camper. Oh man, I wish I could go, Cole. So my best cigar life in Wheeling, West Virginia, they're having a Christmas meetup next weekend. Unfortunately, I'm doing a tree lighting, so you're still going, Peter? It's getting kind of thin here. Terry Davy, you read my title card, huh? I was wondering if anybody would get that. Oh, no, thank you, Daniel. I've got more to smoke than I know what to do with, but I appreciate it. Yes, there's gas in the car, Terry. No, that's a different song though. That's for, the one that I have up is from Black Friday, not Kid Charlemagne. Might be on the same album. Oh, it's a battle to the end then, Peter. You should have told me. I was going to concede. I'll keep going. That song has some wonderful lyrics in it, Terry. Every A-frame had your number on the wall. Can I repeat the pipe insert procedure I just mentioned? If you're talking about the problem that I think it was Declan was having with the Savinelli, the question was whether the entire tenon had come out or if it was just the insert that replaces the filter that came out. In his case, the entire tenon came out, so I recommended a little bit of sanding to rough it up a bit and some epoxy, being very careful not to get the epoxy in the airway to put it back in place. If it was just the insert that came out, you could just stick the insert back in. I hope that clears it up. Eric, the blue collar pipe smoker. Good evening to you, sir. Had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hope yours was good too. Oh, I'm sorry, Declan. I don't know who the heck it was. I completely lost track. My apologies to whoever was asking about that. Well, Terry, if that's the case, then I strongly suggest that you put on Bodhisattva. Sorry, me and Terry are geeking out on Steely Dan, if you haven't noticed. I don't trust the CA glue, Phil. I'm sure you're right, but I just personally don't trust it. It depends on the epoxy too. So I only use the what is it called? The G Flex. I forget the number. It's over there. I can't see the number from here though. And the nice thing about that is it's got some flex to it, so it doesn't crack. Whereas the CA glue will crack. So that's the reason I don't trust the CA glue. It doesn't handle shear stress as well. But if you're using like a generic 5-minute epoxy, it may have the same shear stress issue. It's going to depend on the epoxy that you use, I guess, is the bottom line. Oh, they could play Terry. I mean, I'm a jazz guy, and I hear so much jazz in their work that yeah, that's the reason I love them. I think it's the 650, Phil. Yeah. If you're making them really tight, you're not. So I actually put I don't thread my tenons, but I put notches in them that go all the way around. So it's like threads that don't connect, if you will. And then I really chew up the inside of the hole that the tenon's going into. So there's plenty of voids in there for the epoxy to fill. Now, Eric, cracks are a completely different thing. Yes, Eric, the blue collar pipe smoker, is an expert on cracks. If you have any crack questions, talk to Eric. Yeah, Delrin is a tough beast to epoxy for sure, though. All right, Peter, I'm done. I am done. You win. But at least it was close tonight. Oh, you know what, Peter? It was a tie. It was a tie. Same here, Phil. I mean, it's good to share notes. You never know what's going to come up. It's always good to have an expanded toolbox. I don't know, Phil. You guys want to see a new pipe? Of course you want to see a new pipe. Not quite finished yet. This is from the pre-phrase stummels. So not starting with a block of briar, but starting with something like this. I've been playing with these. I think I've made several of these and smoked them, and I think I might start making some of these available. I don't know what to call them yet. Got to call them something different because they're not, it's not the same amount of work that goes into something like this. But it is, it's drilled. I've got to do the drilling. The tobacco chamber is drilled, but this isn't. The airway isn't drilled, and I make the stem, so it's almost as much handwork as making something from a block of briar. The benefit of these is that this is probably like 40 years old. This is from an old French factory, and the briar is beautifully aged. And it's interesting that has no stain on it, and I haven't decided if I'm going to stain it yet or not. But it's really kind of cool. The grain comes out pretty nicely. Far cry from what you would see in an unfinished pipe with newer briar. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what to call them. It's CaneRod is what I've gone with, and that goes way back to when I was making bamboo fly rods. I was thinking, well, what was sort of the step down from the bamboo fly rod, and that was the fiberglass rods. So I was thinking maybe calling it the F series, but then that doesn't sound good because the letter F has a bad reputation. So I don't know. I don't know. But what I'm going to be smoking next, which has already been packed by accident, it's a story in and of itself. But I got my Tim West apple. And I packed the Friday Savinelli, the Matches Memorial Friday Savinelli. And then it was like 5 minutes to go, and I thought, oh, I better pack the pipe. So I picked this up and packed it. I was about to light this when I realized it was the wrong pipe. Oh, the F could be for finished, Phil, yeah. Terry, you should take the crack thing anywhere you want with Eric. He's very open to talking about cracks. BS line, I like that, Phil. Oh, I love fiberglass rods, Doug. I love them. I like bamboo rods. I love that whippiness to them because they cast beautifully if you know how to cast. But you got to have the right line on them. You can't put a modern line on a fiberglass rod and expect it to perform. Um, but I can't remember the name of the company that makes them. But there's a line called Silk, which is spelled with a Y, Sylk, and they were developed specifically for fiberglass or bamboo rods, and they're perfect. They're just perfect. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that the Saint Espresso didn't agree with you, Declan. Yeah, I feel bad that I might have colored your opinion of it, but I really had a bad reaction to it when I got it. Bamboo can look nice on a pipe, Daniel. It just depends. I mean, it's a different aesthetic. I don't know if I buy all the stuff about it being a cooler smoke and all that, but it definitely can look nice. HU Dark Sea. I've not tried that, John. I haven't tried a lot of the HU blends. Little Louis Lagaza. How you doing, Louis? Great to have you coming in here from Taipei. My goodness. Now, he likes bamboo. He's got some Dan's blend from Boswell and a 673 KS Greza. It's good to see you amongst the familiar names, Louis. Couch likes the HU stuff, huh? I've had one or two of the blends. I can't say that I remember them that well, but I wasn't like desperate to get more. Which doesn't mean they were bad. It just, you know. Oh, I gotta shift. This is gonna be painful. I'm glad he did that without making a grunting sound. Doug, if I understand correctly, the first bamboo shank pipes were actually made by the Danes during the war because there was a shortage of briar and they were trying to use every scrap that they could. So they would be able to use pieces that were too short to make a regular shank. They're not lined in, I think in most cases, there's a little bit of stainless steel tubing used to make the connections between the briar and the bamboo and the tenon. Phil's made them, so he can fill you in on more, I'm sure, but that's my understanding. I've seen Stephan Brothers. I've never cast one, dry fly fisher, but I'm familiar with the brand. All right, Couch, you have a great one. It's good seeing you tonight, buddy. Armchair Piper, Ed has arrived. We can start the evening. Good to see you, Ed. Reading, teasing, same difference, Couch. I did turn off the furnace since my wife's not here, but it's heating the water now, so It would have been on almost constantly though, because it's so cold. Poor dogs are up there probably huddling for warmth, but they'll do that for you guys. I keep one right down here in the shop all the time, Daniel. They're quirky, but they're good pipes. Take care, Ochuita. Have a great evening, buddy. So I'll say again, now that we've had some turnover in the crowd, there will not be a live stream next week because I'm doing the Christmas tree lighting with my wife. But we will be back the following Friday, which is December 12th, and that's when we're going to have our chat with Santa Claus. So if you got your questions for Santa, be sure to tune in on the 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern, and you'll be able to ask old Saint Nick whatever is on your mind. So Daniel, this area definitely gets warm, but you usually are holding it like this. And if that's uncomfortable, you can do like a clay pipe that thing and hold it like this. This never gets hot at all. Actually smokes pretty cool, all things considered. So yeah, like I said, it's quirky. It's a little bit different from smoking a briar, but I enjoy it. Frosty Mint. Oh my goodness, Bad Dad. Enjoy. Absolutely, Louis. Yeah, I just cut pieces of regular pipe cleaner and make the filters out of them. I think they are still made, Paul. I think. I know the bowls are still made. Okay, John Adams says they are still made. I have two of them. One's a bent, one's straight. But the straight one is an estate, and the bent one is actually a new old stock one that I got that has a price sticker on it, which is the reason I haven't smoked it because the price sticker is hilarious. I think it's like $5.70 or something like that. $5.70. I think you're right about that, James. And there's a great book written by the inventor of the Falcon pipe. His daughter wrote a book called Up from the Ashes. It's a really great read if you're at all interested in Falcon pipes and you want to know something about the history. Oh, maraschino cherries. I haven't had those in a long time, Patrick. I think it is just the the supply and demand thing, Declan. I mean, if they could charge more for pipe tobacco, they would. Oh, that's cool, Patrick. And yeah, it's one of the great things about Falcons. You can get different bowls for them, and you can get meerschaum bowls for them. You can get regular briar bowls. I've even seen corncob bowls. Yeah, Phil raised a good point. I mean, I mean, you've probably seen there's been some more YouTube censorship going on. They're not promoting videos like they used to. There's been some suspicious unsubscribing things happening where people, been subscribed to channels for years and all of a sudden they're not getting updates anymore and they find out they're not subscribed anymore. Um, there's been some outright channel shutdowns that have occurred. So anything we can do to keep the community alive is a good thing. And that thumbs up button, no matter whose video you're watching, if it's pipe related, even if you don't like it, give it a thumbs up. Or give it a thumbs down, I guess, because the algorithm doesn't care. It's engagement. And that's really what it's about. It's not, I don't care how many thumbs up I get, but I do care that pipe videos YouTube notices that pipe videos are getting engagement. So make it your job that when you watch a video, you hit that thumbs up button. Yeah, I do not understand the use of thing. I saw some other people talking about that, and it just shocked the heck out of me. I mean, why in the world would he be targeted? Well, then use the thumbs down button, Declan. The point is to let YouTube know that somebody watched the video. Ron, do you choose your beers and your pipes and stuff just to make me read long descriptions? I'm just wondering, because on a bookshop at least is easy. Silver Bandit and Cap Peterson limited edition straight Bulldog slash Apple. And he's got a can of Arkansas made Lost 40 Rooster Illusion Hazy Imperial IPA, 9% ABV. Oh, Ron, that sounds wonderful. I hope you enjoyed that. 9% is pretty hefty. It's no pumpkin lager with 10%, but I think they had to fortify the pumpkin lager so that you didn't realize you were drinking it after the first couple sips. Yeah, and I didn't really see Yusuf as somebody that was like promoting tobacco use or anything like that. So it's very strange. It might be a different country thing, James. That's a good point. And the problem is the way YouTube works. You could spend the rest of your life trying to get an answer out of them. They just won't tell you why. They'll just tell you that it violated the terms of service. That's how you do it, Lukester. Haunted bookshop and a PBR. That I can read. You're simply complicated, Ron. All right, Phil. You take care, buddy. I may or may not see you over there. Yeah, Louis, I think he had several reasons for shutting that down. But definitely Missouri Meerschaum changed their marketing. But he always had a good relationship with them. I don't think it was purely that. I think he also just it was a matter of the time he was spending doing it and the value that it was bringing to him. Yeah, I'm using terms of service very loosely. I'm sure there's differences between terms of service and community guidelines. And the truth is, how many amongst us have read either of those documents? I mean, I get every once in a while I'll get an email saying they've changed and I'll go to log in and I'll say you have to accept them and I'll just click accept because I don't have time to read that. Probably not, Daniel. I just enjoy making stuff that I want to make and I don't think I'd be very good at making things that other people want me to make. So probably wouldn't do commissions. You're gonna do a brief return to Instagram, Everett? That's exactly right, James. I mean, I kind of made that mistake with the pipe restoration work, although I loved every minute of the pipe restoration work and I would do it again, but it just became too much of a time sink. And, trying to figure out exactly what people wanted and, they want this color stem and everything else, it was hard for me. Um, I'm not saying I'll never sell a pipe, Daniel. I'm just not going to make one to your specifications. I'll make pipes, and if you want to buy them, they'll be there. Maybe. I don't know yet. I don't know. If I still got to make three more billiards. We'll see how that goes. I think it's funny, all the guys that say they want a pipe from me, you haven't seen what I'm doing yet. You may not want one. You've only seen me make straight billiards. And I have no idea what I'm going to make when I get tired of making straight billiards. Oh, that's interesting. Hmm. Made the mistake of putting my Zippo down on my phone case, and now I've got. Oh well. Rather have Zippo than a phone case anyway. I know, Steve. I remember that. I remember. It's on the list. I promise. Yeah, maybe James. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I've got the website, and I am thinking about opening that up for some simple restoration. I shouldn't even say restoration work, but like, estate pipe cleaning and maybe factory pipe tune-up kind of stuff. Because that's easy enough for me to do, and I've got all the tools and everything for it. So my thought is, if I ever do decide to sell pipes, I might just stick them on that website, and if people want to buy them, they can buy them. If they don't, I'll eventually smoke them. I'll have to be careful not to look directly into the flashlight then, Luke. Sure, David, would you like the smoke to come out of the lion's nose? 5, John. Wow, it's quite a collection. Ain't nothing wrong with Graybos. I've restored some Graybos that people were attached to, and they paid I don't remember exact prices, but they paid like $50 or $60 to have these things restored. Which, when you think about how much Graybos used to sell for, it was criminal of me to take the money, but I needed to make a new stem and pay for my time and everything. So people get invested in their Graybos. Gordy, I'm going to have to charge extra for the imported gourd, just so you know. Oh, that is cool, James. Yeah, Everett, how come nobody ever makes fun of your Zippo flame? Well, that's the thing, James, and you know, it's hard for me to turn away people that want that kind of work done, and this is one of the reasons why I stopped doing it. You know, somebody would come along with, you know, a marksman jumbo is a good example, although they're worth something now. You know, you could put a marksman jumbo on eBay and actually get, you know, $100, $200 for it. Um, well, at least you could with a custom, but I don't know for certain about the marksman, but I think they were getting up there. But with a gray bow, you know, and somebody comes along in the gray bow and the stem's broken and it's been chewed through and it's got a crack in the bowl and everything else, and they want me to fix it because it was their grandfather's. And how can you say no to that? Because, you know I can do it, and there's not many people that will do it. And if I say no, it's going to be trash. But if I say yes, it's going to probably cost me more than I can reasonably charge them. No, Everett, I'm actually going to have a picture on the website of you with a circle and a line through it. They're far too abused. Goldilocks, 1970. Good to see you. Missouri Meerschaum Country gentleman with 6-inch Aristo stem and some London Squire from 2012. Sounds good. Well, it's a good thing, James. I mean, if he just wants to, if he's not trying to earn a living, but just wants to pick up some extra money, there's a scarcity of pipe restoration guys right now. So there's a hole to be filled. And that's the way to get started. Actually, I just changed my mind. I thought of a way to fix this commission conundrum. So, assuming I do ever get to the point where I'm good enough to sell pipes, I will take commissions, but they'll be $20,000 each. But you only have to pay 50% up front. So, oh, serious. Petersons aren't cheap. Yeah, I'm still thinking about it, but I might reopen next year. But it's going to be very limited. Like I'm not going to do stem replacements unless if you're really desperate and you'll accept a well, first off, you'll let me restain the whole pipe because I'm going to have to sand into the shank and probably use a prefab stem. Well, nah, probably not because that's more work actually. It's easier just to do a hand cut stem. But yeah, it's going to have to be that because getting this to match this without sanding here is almost impossible. I can do it, but it takes a really long time. I'll take a check for the first half, John, but I won't start the work until it clears. The second half you have to pay in cash or gold. The turnaround time on the 20K commission, David, it depends on what the waiting list is like, but I'm guessing it could be within 2 or 3 years. Oh, I'm glad the pipe mortar worked for you, Goldilocks. You guys do know I'm joking about the 20K commission. That was a joke. Although if somebody wants to pay it. No, I don't think I could have it out by Christmas, James. Sorry. I mean, you're paying that much money. You want me to take my time with it. Black Frigate in a 1964 Brewster. Steve, that's one of my Christmas blends. I'm looking forward to cracking open soon. Hey, we're running over here, guys. And I gotta quite a bit to drink up here. Yeah, sorry, Declan, it was a joke. From here. Getting it out of your wife's purse. Three kittens for a pipe. I don't know. All right, Ed. Have a good one, buddy. I'm so glad that worked for you, Gary. I love hearing that's helped people. I think I've actually gotten to the bottom of this bowl. So I will finish this up. Remind you all that we'll not be here next week, but we'll be back the following week, December 12th, with a special guest, Santa Claus himself. So come prepared with all your questions for good St. Nick. I know he's looking forward to it. He's become a good friend of the pipe community here, and longtime pipe smoker. So you can learn a lot from Santa. And I'll be back on Sunday with the usual nonsense, and otherwise I'll see you on the 12th. So everyone take care. Thank you for joining me tonight. Highlight of my week as always. Always look forward to this, and it's always a good time. So have a great weekend and take care.